Good evening, everyone. My name is Joy Marie Mackenzie Lewis, and I am thrilled to be your host as we count down to the best virtual celebration you will attend all year, the International Center for Journalists Tribute to Journalists 2020. Over the next half hour, we'll get ready for the main event with a really fun lineup of activities. Talented New Yorker cartoonist Liza Donnelly is going to make a drawing especially for us, while she tells us how she came to follow in the footsteps of cartoonists like Herb Block and Gary Trudeau. We'll take a close look at the amazing National Geographic photos that are up for auction tonight. You've got to get one. And you'll learn how to make the International Journalist cocktail from renowned spirits and cocktail expert Derek Brown. He's going to become my best friend, I can tell. You can see on this screen the ingredients you'll need. Hopefully, you followed ICFJ on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram beforehand and stocked up. But let's watch as Derek tells us a little bit more about this drink.
Hello and welcome to the ICFJ Tribute to Journalists 2020 pre-show. My name is Derek Brown and I'm the author of Spirit, Sugar, Water, Bitters, How the Cocktail Conquered the World. And I'm the owner of the Columbia in Washington, D.C., which is a cocktail bar, and that's where I'm at right now. And I had the pleasure of creating a cocktail for this event called the International Journalist. And this cocktail is based off an old cocktail called the Journalist from the Savoy cocktail book in the 1930s. And that cocktail is pretty much a dry gin martini that's a little bit bitter and a little bit sour. There's a splash of lemon juice in there, so a little bit of bitters. But my cocktail is a sour, and so it's a little bit more fresh and citrus forward. But it incorporates a lot of the same things. It's made with gin, dry curacao, fresh lemon juice, simple syrup, Angostura bitters, and orange bitters. And all those are shaken up to perfection, and it's a great drink to sip or drink a couple throughout the show. So I'm going to take you through the steps of how to make it. And I just need you right now to get all of the ingredients ready, get your shaker ready, make sure you have your fresh citrus, and we'll get started in just a minute. Welcome, and thank you for being here.
All right, so get your ingredients together, and we'll get back to Derek a little bit later in the show. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm the deputy editor of entertainment at Insider. I'm sure you've heard of our sister publication, Business Insider, but it's where I oversee celebrity and entertainment coverage in our New York, LA, and UK bureaus. Before that, I was a senior entertainment editor at Essence Magazine, and before that, I worked nearly a decade in network news. Now, you might be wondering why I'm hosting this event for ICFJ. Well, I got my start here. I began my career as an intern at ICFJ way back in 2006. Do not do the math. But thanks to becoming an assistant for ICFJ's president, Joyce Barnathan, and later a communications associate for this amazing nonprofit, I saw firsthand how ICFJ changed the lives of journalists and citizens around the world to ensure that people received accurate, unbiased information that governments often try to suppress. I remember working on a guide to teach journalists how to blog. After editing that guide, it inspired me to create my own blog, essentially launching my career in journalism. So thank you, ICFJ. I believe in ICFJ's mission because I've seen it, and you will too by the end of the show. After our time together ends, I'll turn it over to CNN's Wolf Blitzer, who has been the master of ceremonies for ICFJ's award shows for almost a decade. During the tribute, we are going to hear from 3 inspiring journalists who have won ICFJ's prestigious awards. Fareed Zakaria of CNN and The Washington Post, Lina Atala of Egypt, and Roman Anin of Russia. You probably know Fareed, but you may not know Lina and Roman. I guarantee you will be floored when you see how they are providing rare, independent, investigative reporting in 2 of the world's most repressive countries. And shout out to all of you out there who have gathered online at watch parties to take in the festivities. Everyone from ICFJ board members to participants in our programs from Latin America to the Middle East. They've all gathered here to celebrate tonight. We can't be together in person this year, but it's really fun to attend an event like this with your friends and colleagues online. Now, the advantage of being online is that many of you are able to attend ICFJ's awards show from the very first time, from wherever you may happen to be. So if this is your very first ICFJ awards show, welcome. You are going to have a great time. Whether you're watching solo or with a big group of socially distanced friends, we want to hear from you. Tweet us using the hashtag ICFJ Awards, and we'll post it on the social wall that you see here. Let everyone know where you're partying and why you're watching. I can see, I can't read the name because I'm blind, but it says it's today. It's going to be a great event at 10 p.m. hashtag ICFJ Awards. So thank you for tweeting and watching with us. Also, please do check out our digital program for a message from ICFJ's president, biographies, and our speakers and award winners, and so much more. Now let's get back to the fun. I am a big fan of The New Yorker. I love plunging into it every single week. And I must admit, however, that the first thing I do is, you guessed it, I check out the cartoons. So raise your hand if you do that too. So I know that I'm not alone. Okay, I see you out there digitally. We're really, really lucky that one of the best New Yorker cartoonists, Liza Donnelly, is a huge fan of ICFJ. And she has been live drawing its awards event in Washington for many years. This year, we get to go behind the scenes with Liza and watch how she makes her drawings and why she's so passionate about this work. Please welcome, from her drawing studio in New York, Liza Donnelly.
Hi, everyone. I'm Liza Donnelly, cartoonist for The New Yorker and other publications. I wanted to tell you a bit about why I'm so passionate about cartoons while I draw you a cartoon. As a high school student in Washington, D.C. during Watergate, I looked up to journalists. However, it was really the cartoonists that I was paying close attention to. I was already drawing cartoons. At that time, the Washington Post's Herb Block helped bring Nixon's resignation with his powerful daily cartoons. His depiction of Tricky Dick cut to the essence of what was happening. In the strip Doonesbury, Gary Trudeau regularly skewered politicians and our involvement in the Vietnam War. He made it more personal, drawing attention to our racism and xenophobia. There have been other notable cartoonists who furthered change in our country. Thomas Nast brought down New York City's boss Tweed by visually alerting us to the corruption of Tammany Hall. Lesser-known cartoonists such as Lou Rogers, Rose O'Neill, drew cartoons to further women's suffrage and expose wrongful stereotypes. Contemporary cartoonists Ann Telnis, Jim Moran, Jeff Danziger, Jen Sorensen, Keith Knight, and many others continually hold our politicians accountable with their pens. The New Yorker magazine, mostly known for its cartoons about culture, has a history of political cartoons. When you see yourself in a cartoon, it may elicit laughter, but it also may elicit reflection. And change often comes from that cultural behavior and from within ourselves. And the New Yorker cartoon is masterful at being a mirror. Editorial cartoonists are essential journalists. We see this clearly around the world. Some cartoonists find they can only speak through images. Sadly, cartoonists get under the skin of those they attack, and then they are threatened, injured, or murdered. Imagery can be swift and succinct at transmitting ideas across borders with hopeful and powerful ideas, often without words. My international colleagues are tenacious, passionate, and incredibly talented at showing us what we really feel. What editorial cartoonists do is crucial. People around the world often do not take the time to read or cannot read an article, but none of us can look away from a cartoon. Through this form of journalism, we can learn about what is happening, and we can better understand what's going on the ground, often from those cartoonists that are living that reality. And we can learn what they really think of us. We must preserve freedom of expression for cartoonists. What we do as journalists is to show our common humanity. We expose wrongs, offer hope, and show us who we are, often while we are laughing.
That was so amazing, Liza. It's so true. I can never turn away from a cartoon. During our tribute event, you'll see Liza's drawings of Wolf, Fareed, and other key people from the award show. And now you can see Liza's drawing of me. I love it. I want that for my home office. I'm definitely going to frame it. Thank you so much, Liza. Now, here's some great news. You too can get a cartoon drawn by Liza of yourself or anyone else you choose. All you have to do is make a bid, following the instructions on your screen. If you win, you'll send Liza a few pictures of yourself or someone you love, and she'll draw a cartoon worthy of being published in the New Yorker. Don't miss this chance. Please put in your bid right now. If you're just joining us, we are counting down the minutes to ICFJ's Tribute to Journalists 2020. Let's take a look at the countdown clock to see how much time. All right, 16 minutes and 21 seconds to go. I'm excited. I know that you guys are too, because for 36 years, ICFJ has played such an important role in helping journalists, more than 150,000 in almost every country. This year, ICFJ's role has been more important than ever, as journalists around the world have struggled to become experts on complicated scientific information while also combating the spreading of falsehoods. And ICFJ has been the leading organization helping them do just that. That would not be possible without sponsors like the ones you can see on your screen right now. We want to thank one sponsor in particular, the Facebook Journalism Project, our partner for this event. Let's watch a brief video to see why Facebook believes in the power of quality journalism.
Public service journalism is important because it puts the person first. And if our reporting doesn't reach an audience, that means that the truth does not get out. And so the faster we can get the truth out to the public, the faster we can get to healing our communities and making sure that you are able to live here forever and live a respectable life of your choosing.
Thank you for that support. Now, let's take a look at a few of the 20 amazing National Geographic photographs that ICFJ has made available for auction tonight. This collection is called Visions and Visionaries, the World Through the Eyes of National Geographic Photographers. These photos capture indelible moments in history, as well as gorgeous and whimsical scenes of nature and man-made wonders. This is one of my favorites, featuring two icons, Nelson Mandela and Michelle Obama, in a photo by White House photographer Samantha Appleton. On their first solo trip to Africa, the First Lady and her two daughters met the anti-apartheid legend when he was 92 years old. She said, according to Politico, "You cannot imagine how important your legacy is to who I am, to who my husband is. I just said, thank you, thank you, thank you." That is so powerful. You've probably seen countless pictures of Mount Rushmore, but I doubt you've ever seen this view. Workers carving the face of Abraham Lincoln in 1937. Photographer Charles D. Emery spent 14 years documenting work on the monument, often dangling off ropes and scaffolding with heavy equipment. National Geographic is renowned for its nature photography, and we have lots of stunning examples of that too. This one is one of my favorites. Two penguin chicks interacting in Antarctica. I do wonder what the right is trying to say. Listen to me or something. Place a bid right now. Photographer David Dubillet is known for his stunning underwater photography. This shot demonstrates the grace of spotted eagle rays in the Northern Mariana Islands. And in an entirely different part of the world, the Galapagos Islands, photographer Enrique Sala captured a sea lion chasing a school of fish from an incredible perspective. Sala became a National Geographic explorer in residence, and he talked to Ecuador's president about the need to protect marine life. After that talk, the president announced a new marine sanctuary in the Galapagos. Whoa, tongue twister. Any of the photos would look stunning as a backdrop for your home office, especially for all the Zoom calls we're on, and it would make it an outstanding gift to someone that you care about. You'll be supporting an organization that advances quality journalism worldwide, and your gift is partially tax deductible. The bidding for photos starts at $500 and increases by increments of $250. You can see instructions on how to bid on the screen. All of the proceeds go to supporting ICFJ's vital work. Please take some time to explore the gallery and choose a photo you love the most. The auction will remain open until 10 p.m. Eastern today. Now, let's take a look at our social wall and see what people are saying about the event. Don't forget, tweet us using the hashtag ICFJ Awards. Let's see. Oh, this is so awesome. It looks like someone says they're so delighted to be joining the Trace group who is participating in ICFJ's Zoom Awards. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for tweeting us. And if you're just joining us, hi, welcome. How are you? You've gotten here just in time for my favorite part of the pre-show. We are going to make a drink with renowned spirits and cocktail expert Derek Brown. He has created a new libation called What Else? The International Journalist, just for our event. You can see that I've gathered my materials here, and don't worry if you haven't gotten everything, it's fine. You can just make one later, but let's watch Derek tell us how it's done.
Welcome back to the ICFJ Tribute to Journalists pre-show. My name is Derek Brown, and I am going to take you through the steps of a cocktail I created called the International Journalist. And I created that cocktail specifically for this event so that you can sip it now, or if you'd like, you can bookmark this and come back to it later and make the drink. What I need you to do is just, if you're going to make it along with me, to get the ingredients together. So you're going to need gin, dry curacao, fresh lemons or lemon juice, simple syrup, orange bitters, and Angostura bitters. Put that together right now in front of you, which we call mise en place when we're making cocktails, and get your shaker ready. If you don't have a shaker like this is called a Boston shaker. It's 2 cups that fit together. If you have a cobbler shaker, which is the 3 tiers, and you've got a little built-in strainer and cap on top, that's fine too. And if you don't even have a shaker, you can take 2 cups and pour one back and forth. That's kind of the old way that they used to do it before some genius invented the shaker. So I'm going to go ahead and take you through the steps right now. You also need a measuring device. This is called a jigger. If you don't have that, just do your best to count it out or to eyeball it. We're going to start with 1.5 ounces of gin. So I'm going to pour that into the jigger. And if you notice, I haven't added any ice yet. So sometimes people add the ice first. You really don't want to add the ice first, because as soon as you do that, the clock starts ticking and that ice starts to kind of dilute and chill the drink. It's sort of like once you put something in the oven, it starts going. So you can't go back and kind of like crack an egg and beat it into it. So once you put the ice, it's over. You've started the drink. So we're going to go ahead and just build it in the cocktail shaker first. I'm going to take 1/2 ounce of the dry curacao. Then I'm going to squeeze a little lemon juice. So for the lemon juice, you need fresh lemons. So that's kind of key to it. And I'm going to use this juice press, but you could certainly, if you just have a fork and a bowl, you can press the fork into the lemon to break the cells, to kind of get the juice out of it. This is, of course, much easier. And I'm going to get 3/4 of an ounce of lemon. And this half gave me almost 1/2 ounce. So it kind of depends on what lemon you have, what type of year, what time of year, basically, how much juice you're going to get. So this turns out that 1 lemon gets me exactly 3/4 of an ounce. So I'll pour that in there. Next, I'm going to add 1/4 ounce of simple syrup. Now, if you like things on the sweeter side, or the converse of that, you don't like things too tart, you can add up to 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. And simple syrup is just equal parts sugar and water boiled until all of the crystals are dissolved. So it's very easy to make. I'm going to use 1/4 ounce because I like this one to be really nice and bright and fresh. So I'm pouring all of that into the shaker. Then we're going to do a dash of orange bitters, and really a dash. Don't just dribble it in there. 1 dash right there. And then I'm going to do a dash of aromatic bitters. And bitters are great because they add all this texture and flavor to the drink. So you want to make sure to add those in there. If you didn't have the bitters, this drink would still be delicious. But this adds like a layer to it that I think really makes it a great cocktail. So I've got all the ingredients in there. I'm going to review them for you right now. 1.5 ounces of gin, half ounce of dry curacao, 3/4 ounce of lemon juice, 1/4 ounce of simple syrup, dash of Angostura bitters, dash of orange bitters, and that's your cocktail. So I'm going to grab some ice now and start shaking. You really only have to shake for about 15 minutes. So don't feel like you have to overdo it there. Really, the most dilution that happens in the cocktail is when you add the ice. And then after that, it just kind of incrementally dilutes and chills it and adds a little texture as well. And so now I'm going to pour it into the glass. Looks really wonderful and fresh. And there we have it. That's the International Journalist Cocktail. So I hope you had the time to make it. If not, rewind, go back, try it again. Otherwise, enjoy. Cheers.
Wow, that was fun. You can see that I have followed Derek's instructions, and I am ready to give the International Journalist a try. If you made one, let's get ready to have a toast. If you didn't, just grab whatever libations or refreshments you have lying around. To ICFJ and its amazing network of thousands of journalists across the globe, we salute you. We thank you for your tireless work, many of you in very challenging circumstances. Cheers, salud, gambe, santé to you. That really is I made mine a little strong, but so delicious. Thank you, Derek. I'm going to set that aside so I can finish, so I can get you ready for the main show. But have you bid in the photo auction yet? What are you waiting for? Now is the time. Let's take a look at some more photos that you can own while helping ICFJ's mission at the very same time. This photo captures a critical leap in the struggle for civil rights in America, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. at the 1963 Freedom March on Washington. He's holding the I Have a Dream speech in his hand. That is so dope. Award-winning photojournalist James P. Blair, who was a staff photographer at National Geographic from 1962 to 1994, took this image of King on this historic day. This elegant photo is by Alfred Eisenstadt, who was famous for his photo of a sailor kissing a woman in Times Square at the end of World War II. His shot from 1932 brings to life the intensity of Paris Opera House ballerinas who are listening to the ballet master in a rehearsal of Swan Lake. Finally, here are two iconic shots of the American West. This photo by Keith Lazinski of three riders in the Montana mountains at sunset is just so perfectly composed. And wildlife photographer Charlie Hamilton James captured these spectacular herds on the Winter Range and the National Elk Refuge in Jackson Home, Wyoming. The refuge serves as a habitat for endangered species. We've shown you just some of the photos available that you could own or give as gifts. I'm sure the receiver would be so appreciative. But please do explore the gallery to see all of the photos available. Once again, the instructions are on the screen on how to make a bid. The auction will be open until 10 p.m. Eastern tonight. So be sure to place your bid now because you don't want to miss a minute of this event that's just about to start. Don't forget that you can also bid on having New Yorker cartoonist Liza Donnelly create a custom drawing of you or anyone else that you choose. You can bid on that in the gallery too. I also want to urge you to make a donation to ICFJ. I believe so much in this organization that really nurtured me professionally as a journalist. ICFJ is doing that for tens of thousands around the world. But ICFJ doesn't just help journalists. It also helps citizens and societies as a whole. When a journalist, helped by ICFJ, exposes corruption, governments become more transparent. When a journalist, helped by ICFJ, educates the public about COVID-19 disinformation, people become less susceptible to the disease. When a journalist, helped by ICFJ, learns how to build a sustainable news outlet that reports on Indigenous communities, people who never before had a voice suddenly find officials paying attention to them. If you believe, as I do, that journalists can change the world for the better, please make a donation to ICFJ. You can see how to do that on your screen right now. Every donation, no matter the size, will help ICFJ fulfill its essential mission. Well, I can't believe it, but we've come to the end of our pre-show. It has been such a pleasure to be with you tonight. You definitely do not want to tune out now. We are about to start the main event, ICFJ's Tribute to Journalists 2020. Don't forget, let everyone know where you are and how much fun you're having by tweeting us using the hashtag ICFJ Awards. Let's take a look at the countdown clock and see how many seconds away we are. All right. Oh my gosh, only 46 seconds. That is so exciting. Once again, thank you so much for your time. My name is Joy Marie McKenzie, and I am thrilled to turn the event over to Wolf Blitzer live from CNN in Washington.